There are other types of decisions: organizational and individual decisions, operational and strategic decisions, research and crisis versus interactive decisions, opportunity and problem solving decisions. Now the very first type is organizational decision. Organizational decisions are the decisions taken in the organization. In the day-to-day functioning of the organization, the manager has to take lot of organization related decisions. These decisions are known as organizational decisions. Now, while taking a decision for the organization, the manager has to think holistically for the organization. Manager has to sacrifice self-satisfaction while taking organization related decision. Now, what do you mean by sacrificing self-satisfaction? It should not happen that manager feels that this decision is okay. He cannot say like this. So, what he has to do while taking organization related decisions, he has to sacrifice his or her own satisfaction. It should not satisfy to the manager alone, but it should satisfy to all the people working in the organization, because these decisions are taken for the betterment of the organization, related to the organization, so it should give satisfaction to all members of the organization. Taking these kind of decisions, manager has to collect lot of information, manager has to be visualizer for taking this kind of particular decision. Organizational decisions are always for the betterment of the organization. There is no personal things involved in organizational decision. It is always taken for the welfare of all the members of the organization. Now the next type is individual decisions. Individual decisions are taken for the person himself or herself. These decisions can be said as satisfying the need, desires of the person. Say for example, in our day-to-day life also we take a lot of decisions. These decisions which are done for ourselves are known as individualized decisions or individual decision, which is taken for the individual himself or herself. Due to the capacity of cognitive processes, some individual decisions may be biased, because it all depends on how your cognitive process is developed, because decision making involves a lot of thinking, it requires a lot of reasoning. So it depends on the cognitive capacity of the person. So it may happen that if the person's cognitive capacity is not developed, he may take a wrong decision. These decisions are taken in the organization for bringing out a corrective actions, and these decisions are taken by the person, not for the organizations. The third type of decision is operational decisions. There are various activities done in the organization, there are various operations conducted in the organization for which these kind of decisions are taken. A lot of interactions that takes place on daily basis, and for this it required operational decisions. Good operational decisions will always result in higher revenues, increased profits, increased productivity and customer satisfaction. It is related with the operational activities of the organization. The next type of decision is strategic decisions. Strategic decisions are taken for the organization for planning out various strategies in order to achieve the vision, mission of the organization. The goal of making strategic decision is to implement a new policy or is to frame a new policy for the organization. Say for example, the organization want to start a new medium of instruction. Earlier they have Marathi medium of instruction in the school, and now the principal want to start a English medium school. So for this he has to implement a strategic decision. For this he has to find out the strategy, and while implementing the strategy, the manager has to find out the strengths and weaknesses of the organization. What are the strengths, what are the weaknesses, and are those, considering those strengths and weaknesses, the manager has to find out new strategy in implementing this kind of decision. That is why it is known as strategic decision. Strategic decisions are taken in order to achieve long-term goal of the organization. Say for example, if the organization in future after 5 years or maybe after 10 years where the organization want to reach, for that kind of planning strategic decisions are taken. Strategic decisions involve lot of resources. It also involves finding out the threats and weaknesses, what can be the hurdles in order to achieve that particular goal. These things are considered while taking strategic decisions. The next type of decision is opportunity decisions and problem solving decision. Decision making and problem solving goes hand in hand. The way we solve the problem, in the course of solving the problem, one needs to identify the alternatives, one need to select the alternative, one need to analyze the alternative, one need to identify the pros and cons of each alternative, and then he or she may arrive at the solution of the problem. So decision making itself involved a problem solving. So these are some decisions are taken in the organization for solving a problem. It may happen that certain problem may arise in your organization, and in order to solve that particular problem, the principal or a head has to take a decision. For example, there can be a problem arise of absenteeism of the student. So in order to arrive at the solution of the problem, one need to identify why the students are remaining absent in the school. Are they having any difficulties? So what one will do, he will discuss with the student, he will discuss with the parents and arrive at the solution of the problem. So if any problems occurs in the organization, one has to take a decision. So decision making itself involves problem solving. The way we solve the problem, the way we arrive at the solution of the problem, same thing happens with the decision. So some decisions are taken for solving the problems which may arise instantly or which may arise after some time. So these decisions which are taken for solving the problem are known as problem solving decisions. The other type is opportunity decision. Opportunity decisions are generally taken for the growth and development of the organization. For example, if the principal is interested in growth and development of the organization, he may grab the opportunity of starting new division in his or her own school. So some decisions are taken for the growth and development. Starting a new division in the same school can be opportunity decision, which is generally done for the betterment, for the growth or for the development of the institution. So in this way, the decisions can be taken for solving the problem, and some decisions can be taken for getting the opportunity or for the growth and development of the organization. There are different approaches to decision making. Now when we are discussing about the approaches to decision making, how we are looking at the decision, how the decisions are taken, that things are considered under the approaches of decision making. The approaches are centralized and decentralized approach, group and individual approach, participatory and non-participatory approach, democratic and consensus approach. Now let us see the very first type, that is centralized and decentralized approach. In centralized approach, the decisions are taken by the top manager. He is the whole and sole responsible for taking that particular decision. The manager may not consult other members, other subordinates in taking that particular decision. So the whole and sole power of taking decision is in the hand of one person. Maybe he be a manager, maybe he may be a supervisor, or maybe he may be a HM, and these decisions are obligatory for other members to follow. So we can say in short, in centralized approach, all the decisions are in the hand of one person, or only one central authority is responsible for taking this kind of decision. Say for example, the principal want to start a new division in his school. For that he may alone take a decision that he want to start a new division in the same school, or if the principal decides to offer another medium of instruction in the same school, can be considered as a centralized decision. Or we can say how much to allocate the resources for any particular type of activity can be decided by the manager alone rather than discussing with the other members of the organization. So these decisions are called as centralized decision. The other approach is decentralized approach. The other approach is exactly opposite of centralized approach. It is exactly opposite of centralized approach. The decisions are taken at various levels. The decisions are taken at various levels. Will take up a decision. Maybe the top management will take up a decision. Same to the middle management, maybe for getting the approval. Same to the middle management for getting the approval or for getting their feedback about that particular middle management. It will be sent to the middle management. It will be sent to the in this way the particular decision. So in this way the particular decision from top level to middle level to sent from top level to middle level, considering their feedback, considering their opinion, considering their feedback, the final decision will be opinion taken. The final decision will be particular decision is divided. So in this way, this particular decision is divided among. So that is why we are calling it as levels. So that is why we are calling it as another approach called as group approach versus individual approach. In group approach, the decisions are taken in the group. Maybe the manager or a principal may conduct a meeting and take a decision in consultation with the group of teachers, in consultation with the teaching and non-teaching staff. So these decisions will be labeled as group decisions. Exactly opposite of group decision is a individual decision. Individual decisions are taken by the individual. Say for example, teacher will take a decision of how she is going to teach that particular topic. It will be whole and soul her decision about taking how to implement that particular strategy, how to teach that particular topic. So we can say the teacher who is deciding her classroom strategy will be considered as an individual decision. Another approach of decision making is participatory and non-participatory approach. In participatory approach, the manager or a headmaster may participate all other members, say from teaching staff, non-teaching staff, teacher, class 4 people, all will be involved, all will be participated in taking this kind of decision. Say for example, if the HM want to conduct any program in the school, then he may take a meeting of all the members, he may take participation of all the members, maybe a teaching staff, maybe non-teaching staff, all will be consulted and the decisions will be taken. So in participatory decision, the manager participates all the members of the organization. Exactly opposite of participatory approach is non-participatory approach. It may happen that the manager may not consult other people, the manager may not consult other members of the organization while taking this kind of decision. So that is known as non-participatory decision. It is a decision taken by one person alone. The person may not involve, may not take participation of other members in taking such kind of decision. Now the another approach of decision making is democratic approach. In democratic approach, the manager takes the participation of all members. The manager may value the opinions of all the members while taking a decision. So he may give freedom to the people to express their views, to express their opinions while taking democratic decision. Say for example, let us take the same example wherein the principal want to conduct a program in a school. For that, he may ask for the opinion of the people in this process of democratic decision making. He may take the views, and the views or opinion given by the teacher, by the non-teaching staff will also be considered in the process of taking final decision. Say for example, when to conduct the workshop, where to conduct the workshop, what resources are we going to use for this, all these things will be decided in consultation of taking the opinion of all the members. So this is known as democratic approach of taking decision making. Another approach of decision making is consensus approach. In consensus approach, all the members give their opinion and then the common consensus is arrived at the end. Now all the opinions are collected, they are reviewed, they are analyzed, and one common consensus is arrived at consensus approach. So in this way we saw the different approaches of decision making. Now let us discuss about the techniques of decision making. There are two techniques of decision making, nominal group technique and Delphi technique. In nominal group technique, as the name suggests, it is a group technique. In this, it is a structured method of generating ideas. In this, the group is given a situation, the problem is put forth to the group, and ideas are asked for solution of the problem. It is a group process involving problem identification, solution generation and decision making. So first the problem is identified, solutions are generated. In the process of solution generation, all group members are involved in finding out the solution of the problem. Then the group members give their ideas about those particular solution of the problem, and the final decision is taken by considering the ideas given by the group members. It can be used in groups of many sizes who want to make their decisions quickly, as by it can be by way of vote, or everyone may provide their opinion by mailing also. So in this, basically opinion of all the members are asked, then the ideas come from the members are ranked, and then those ranks are total up. So like this way, for finding out the solution of the problem, ideas from the groups are asked, they are then ranked, and then the total are sum up for arriving at the solution of the problem. Now one has to follow certain steps while implementing this particular technique. First, each person writes his ideas, options or solutions privately without discussing with others. He may write whatever solutions he feels better for that particular problem, but these solutions are written without discussing with others, and then individual present his ideas in front of the group by round robin procedure. Now in this round robin procedure, the ideas written by one member will be circulated to other member will also add his ideas. Like this, the ideas will be taken from the whole group. After presentation, participant may ask question to clarify the ideas, but there is no evaluation, no discussion or no debate on the ideas provided by the members. Now let us try to understand the technique by way of one example. Say for example, if the university is framing a curriculum, if the university is restructuring the curriculum, that time university may ask the opinion of the teacher regarding the curriculum. So what will be done? The guideline of the curriculum will be sent to the each teachers, and then each teacher will provide his or her ideas in the content of the curriculum. They may send their own content, then this all ideas will be considered, it will be ranked. Now in the process of ranking, what will be done? The content which is more suitable as per the need of the requirement of the curriculum will be taken into consideration, but there would be no discussion, no feedback, only the comments will be asked regarding the content of the curriculum. Then after analyzing the content, whichever content is more suitable, which is matching your objectives of the curriculum, will be taken into consideration. So that means that content will be ranked, and then those ranked will be sum up, and the final structure of the curriculum will be decided on the basis of nominal group technique. The next technique of decision making is Delphi technique. In Delphi technique, it involves a series of questionnaires distributed over a time for decision making. Questionnaire is prepared and then it is distributed among the members who are distantly located. It allows group decision making to be accomplished over large distances and widely spread members. A group of experts rather than the single source is usually consulted whenever possible. The principle that two heads are better than one is followed in this particular technique. It creates a condition under which group of experts perform most ably and their answers are combined into a single group opinion. In Delphi technique, the certain steps need to be followed. Now which are those steps? Let's have a look at it. First step is the problem is identified and sample of experts are selected. Once the problem is identified, we need to identify the experts who will be a suitable person for providing solution of that particular problem. These experts are asked to provide potential solutions through carefully designed questionnaire. Each expert completes and returns the initial questionnaire. The results of the questionnaires are compiled. Each member receives a copy of questionnaire, a copy of result along with the second questionnaire. Members are asked to review the results and respond to the second questionnaire. The process is repeated until a consensus is reached. Now let us try to understand this technique by way of one example. Let us continue the same example which we have taken in order to understand NGT, that is non-group technique. Now when we are following this Delphi technique, the first step is what we need to identify the experts. Now let us take the same example. We want to frame a curriculum. For that, first the experts will be identified. Now there are different subjects in the curriculum for which you may require different experts. Now these experts are sent the questionnaire. Now it can be, when we are talking about curriculum framing, we can say that guidelines will be sent to the experts. Then these experts will write their opinion about the opinion, we can say they will write the content in that particular framework provided by the highest authority. Then those content will be again sent to the person who has sent this particular information. Say for example, once the experts write their opinion, it will be again resent to the person who has assigned that particular task. Then the second questionnaire will be again sent to the experts along with their input which they have given. So while giving the second questionnaire, feedback will also be given on the content which they had sent earlier. So in this way, feedback will be given on their content and the consensus will be arrived. So when we are following Delphi technique, the persons are located at distance. It may happen in order to, say for example, if you are framing a curriculum for SNDT University, you can say that SNDT has a campuses at Pune, Juhu and Churchgate. So these are distantly located. So guidelines will be sent at 3 places and from them feedback will be asked and questionnaire will be sent regarding their opinion about the curriculum along with the input given by them. So likely they will be sending the information and then this information will be read, it will be analyzed and the final content will be decided following the Delphi technique. Then this questionnaire will be again resent to the person, they will be giving their feedback and consensus will be arrived after repeating the procedure unless and until the consensus is arrived. So in this way the syllabus will be framed by taking into consideration opinion of the people who are located distantly. Whereas in NGT, it is very much important that the person should be present physically. There is a face-to-face interaction, not interaction we can say, face-to-face, the person should be present physically and they should give the opinion. Whereas in Delphi technique, it may happen that person from distance location will also be considered in the process of decision making. So we can say in NGT, it is a group technique wherein physical presence of the persons are important, and in Delphi technique, physical presence of the person is not very much required. Even the person from distance location are considered in Delphi technique. So in this way, decisions are taken by implementing these 2 types of techniques, that is NGT, that is non-group technique, and Delphi technique. So in this session we saw about the decision making, definition of decision making, process of decision making, what are the various factors which has an influence on decision making and how good decisions should be taken. What is the steps to be followed while implementing the decision, what are different types of decisions like program decision, non-program decision, organizational decision, individual decision, strategic decision, opportunity decision. These are the various types we saw. There are different approaches of decision making like centralized approach, decentralized approach, group approach, individualized approach, democratic approach. We also learnt decision making as a process. It is called as a process because it involves step by step activity, step by step process. At first step, one has to recognize and identify the decision situation. At second step, one need to identify the alternatives. Then at the third step, one has to select the best alternative, and then at fourth step, one has to analyze this alternative. One need to analyze the consequences, and considering those consequences, analyzing the consequences, one has to take a final decision. So in this way, during these 5 stages, the whole process of decision making happens. We also discuss about how to make effective decision, and while making effective decision, what should be the concern. Like, in order to make effective decision, it should always be profit oriented. It should be always be for the welfare of all the members of the organization, and at the same time, it should minimize your loss, it should minimize your expenses. Then those kind of decisions are always beneficial to all. We also discuss about the techniques of decision making. wherein we discuss about two techniques of decision making, that is nominal group technique and Delphi technique. In nominal group technique, the physical presence of the persons are very much important. Questionnaire issues are discussed with the members, ideas are asked from the members without conducting a discussion. Only ideas are clarified as and when required. Whereas in Delphi technique, though it is a decision making technique wherein group is also involved, but the nature of this technique is different than the NGT in a way that here in Delphi technique the members are distantly located and their opinions are considered for taking decision. So both the techniques are group technique, but the only nature of this particular decision making process is different. So these are the two techniques of decision making. So in this way we discussed today about all the concept of decision making, factors, approaches, types and techniques of decision making. So today we learnt about decision making. Thank you.